Dear ITC friends, today we will speak in this video number 3 of the series that I announced some time ago. We will speak about the role of noise. I know that in video 1 I already touched the subject of noise. But we will get more into detail in this video. Why? Because noise is a very controversial issue in the field of EVP and ITC also. And why is this? Why is it controversial? Because the many tests that have been done, not only by me and my friends, but also before me by Dr. Engineer Carlo Traina in Italy, one of the great investigators of the anomalous electronic voices. Dr. Traina already proved that noise plays a very decisive role in the formation of the voices. Mind you, it's not indispensable, but we'll get there later. And then after that, we did in here at the University of Vigo, at the Laboratory of Acoustics of the School of Engineering, many different tests using many different methods, known methods, to obtain the electronic voice phenomena or electronic voices, anomalous electronic voices. And one of the few conclusions that we could reach undoubtedly was that noise plays a very important role for the construction, formation of these anomalous voices. Nevertheless, skeptics and also not well-intentioned and misinformed parapsychologists have profited from this condition, not a big condition, a little condition, of noise being very interesting in these experiments, the EVP experiments, to denigrate the phenomenon, to say that voices do not exist, that voices are only a projection, a pareidolia, as you would say in a more elaborate language, of the human brain that finds meaning in random noises. We will see that this is not true a little bit later on. But as I was saying, in this study of 2 years that was published in NeuroQuantology, I will show you the first page of the here it is, of the magazine, because if you want to, it's a long study, 50-something pages, but here it's the reference. As I said, one of the few conclusions was that noise plays a very important role in the anomalous electronic voices. So that's the reason why I thought of doing this video 3 focusing on noise. And going a little bit more elaborately into the topic, we saw in video 1 that there are many different kinds of noises that can be used. And it's all a matter of personal choice, because as one of the important investigators of the electronic voices, engineer Paolo Presi, defined it very well, saying the experimenter or the operator is part of the experiment. Thus, this means that you should make, I will never emphasize this too much because it is important. You as a potential operator, ITC, EVP operator, you should make your own choices, the ones that more adapt to your own character, likings, tendencies, options. So my role here is only a slightly orientational one. You should make your own decisions in this discipline as well as in life, but that is obvious. So there are many types of noise. There is water noise. Many people have this romantic idea, I will say it's a romantic idea because indeed it is, that noise will be very conducive to obtaining results, using noise as acoustic support or background acoustic support, as we used to call noise. But it's not, in my opinion, we also tried with water, it's not better than any other noise. It's only all right, because water noise, be it in a small home cascade or a natural cascade, if it is a natural cascade, you have to be a little bit far from the cascade, otherwise it will be too much noise, but does not really contain all that number of frequencies. Of course it has many frequencies, but not an unlimited number as many want to believe. So we can use noise. I'll give you an example. I do not remember if I said this in video 1, but when I lived in Lyon, France, I lived the first 6 months at a hotel where I also experimented for the EVP. It was EVP at that time, because when I moved from my house here in Vigo to my house in Lyon, for 6 months there were no direct radio voices, and that when I asked my communicators, very surprised, why this happened, they replied a very easy to understand answer. They said, "You have no idea. This is very, very difficult." So when I moved from my house here in the northwest of Spain, in Galicia, to my house in Lyon, I experimented regularly, as I do here, and in different ways also. And one of them was a tap, a trickle of water from a tap. This was like a small apartment in a hotel where I put it, little water coming from the tap, a trickle, click, 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 click. And I did get a voice. I do not remember which, oh yes, I do remember. I asked something like, "Can you also speak to me like this?" And there was a recorded voice replying to me, which said, very simply, "There is not enough noise." So this voice was very low. Yes, it was a voice, but very low. And it said only this: there is not enough noise. So water, let's go back to the water. You can use water, a fountain, a home fountain, a fountain in the garden, provided there are not other noises around you, mainly human voices, and other ways that you can think of using for the use of water. And what else can you use? What I also mentioned in video 1, you can use traffic noise. If it's not a very heavy traffic, like heavy trucks and very loud, if your house is slightly apart, separated from the road, but enough near the road so that you can hear this traffic buzz, it is a good support, a good acoustic support. I remember once when I was in England, in a quiet house at a friend's house in the countryside. Very quiet, like these very small English towns and villages are. It was very quiet. And I experimented, as usual, at my usual hour. And then a motorbike, which is something also unusual in a small quiet town in England, came to the street where my bedroom was. I was experimenting in my bedroom at his friend's house. And the voice that I recorded, the anomalous voice, was glued to this motorbike, which is a sharp noise, as you know, was glued to this motorbike noise. It seems that the voices like sharp noises. Later on I will show you EVPs that I have recorded many years ago, which are a very good proof of what I am saying. Another noise that you can use is music, provided it has not human voices, no singing. But if it has no singing, if it has singing, I was going to say, and you want to use it, you can also. You must lower the volume, of course not this heavy metal and so on, and you must pre-record it. This is the safest way. I mean, you pre-record the song you want to use, and then you play it back in your EVP experiment, so that you are sure that any anomalous inclusion, any anomalous voice in your recording is not in the original song. This is very important. I would say that you do not use the sound of a breeze, which might also be romantic and so on, but unless it's a very soft breeze, but the wind will get into the microphone and will spoil the recording. In a garden with birds singing, yes, that is beautiful. And the birds have a very beautiful, fine, sharp noises. Who knows? You might obtain results like this. Provided, once again, there are no voices from the neighbors or in the garden that will get into the recording and will mislead you when you listen to it. But for me and for many other operators, the king of the noises is radio noise. Jürgensen was advised, Friedrich Jürgensen, the great pioneer of the electronic voices, was advised by his communicators to use the radio. They told him, use the radio. And from then on, he started putting the radio for his recordings. Radio noise can be in any of the waves, FM, modulated frequency, medium wave, short wave. I have used from the very beginning shortwave and have used more than one radio. Why? Because I thought that if I tuned my 2 or 3 as they were at the beginning, now I have 5, but 2, 3 or 4 radios in different frequencies, this would provide a richer field, acoustic field for the communicators. Maybe it did, I really don't know and cannot prove this. But radio noise, in my opinion, is a very good acoustic support. As again repeat, provided there are no radio emissions in this radio noise, then you can select what you want. For instance, Friedrich Jürgensen used a radio tuned to 1460 kilohertz. You can try. As a matter of fact, I have a radio in my studio, which I will show later. I have a radio, a small, portable, good Sony radio, I'm not publicizing, I'm not making any publicity to Sony. All my radios are Sony, but this is not publicity, I guarantee. Anyway, I have it. The other ones are in shortwave frequencies, and one of them is, I suppose, again, from my part, considering the love and tenderness I have for Friedrich Jürgensen. In tribute to Friedrich Jürgensen, I have it tuned in 1460 kilohertz. So you can choose in this radio noise, which in my opinion is one of the best, if not the best, acoustic supports for your EVP practice, whatever you like best. FM, medium wave, short wave. You make your own choice. Why do I like radio noise? Because it contains more frequencies than the other noises. It is richer in frequencies. As a matter of fact, white noise. And that is what you will be looking for, white noise in a radio, which is a point between stations where there are no radio emissions. I mean, theoretically, comprises a very, very large number of frequencies. This is the so-called white noise. But we will see, and I will finish very shortly, but before we finish, I will show you two of my own EVP voices of many years ago. You will see that voices are very different from noise. So the skeptics and the parapsychologists who are not well informed because they do not know much or anything, I would say, in most cases of EVP, ITC, that's what they use. The argument they use to slander and ridicule EVP is that it's pure pareidolia or projected noise. I will try to show you here in my computer one of the EVPs that I recorded, maybe only one today, we'll see. And let's see if we have time for this. One of my little cats made a little sound. Anyway, so here it is. Where is it? YouTube videos. I selected here. So, for instance, this EVP, I should have opened it. Friends of the EVPs, you see that we have a guest tonight. Would you like to leave a message for him? So I'll open it with the SoundForge, which is my favorite sound editing program. Here, this was, I had here a guest from Israel, and I started speaking to the voices in Portuguese because I forgot that he was here. Then I remember, and I said, oh my goodness, he doesn't understand Portuguese. So I started speaking in English. But the voice, which I will highlight for you, comes before I made my request. So, friends of the EVPs, you see that we have a guest tonight. Would you like to leave a message for him? The voice, which is this. Sei parlare, sei Portuguese, parlare Italian. Speak, say I know. Parlare in Italian, speak, here. This is the voice, nothing to do with noise. Noise is here, before. Is it similar? No, I don't think so. So, sei parlare was the voice that replied to my request before I made the request. So, thank you very much. We have no time for more tonight, and I thank my friend Carlos Fernandes for his collaboration. He made this video for me as well as the other ones, and he has been with me in my experiments, well, not so much recently, but at the beginning, of course, he was also here. Thank you very much all. We'll continue. You may subscribe to these videos, then you will have notice when they will be published.